Hey y'all, I am Mazelleغ. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be sharing with you all this video clip. It is taken from the YouTube channel called Best Ever Food Review Show. It is a YouTube channel where a guy pretty much travels all around the world and tastes different foods from different parts of different countries. And it's about 3 days ago, he posted a video of food reviews that he did while he was in Ghana. Now he has two videos out. He had one where he was trying the cheapest food in Ghana that would be sold on the streets of Ghana. And I have done a video where I was talking about the different cuisines that you can eat in Ghana and how it's important that when you travel to Ghana that you really go and experience the local foods there, as far as, you know, making sure that you do try different foods that people are selling on the street. I've also said that if it's your first time in Ghana, you're not very used to the food, there is a strong possibility that you might get sick. And it's not because the food is not sanitized or anything like that. It's just that your body is not used to the food. It's not used to the water. It's not used to maybe the spices that they're using. And so sometimes it might interfere with your digestion system. But as far as it's being good, it is good. It's just that, you know, if you're not used to the food, you might get sick. However, there is also a strong possibility that you don't get sick. So it just depends on how your body reacts to different foods and how your body reacts to the adjusting of the different foods that you're eating in Ghana. So I do tell people that when they are visiting Ghana, or if you're about to visit Ghana, to really go and experience some of the food that they are selling on the street. They are really, really good, especially if you're sitting in traffic. You're going to get some of the best food just sitting in your car, going from one place to the next, a lot of snacks that you're going to be able to eat. And if you're just walking along the street, going from place to place, there's always a good place for you to just get something to eat real quick without you having to spend a lot of money trying to go to the restaurants and these most expensive places in Ghana. Now, with that being said, I'm going to share with you all this video clip that he shared in the video. And he was talking about a lady that has a restaurant in Ghana, and that the continent of Africa, as of today, does not have a Michelin star at all on the continent of Africa. We're going to talk about that in this video. Now, I did not want to get cited or flagged or copyrighted, get a copyright claim for using the video clips. I wasn't sure if I was able to use his, so I did just take different snapshots and then just detach the audio, so I did not get dinged. So anyways, here's the video clip, then I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss it. So let's get into it.
I've been fortunate to go to about 9 or 10 different countries in Africa, and I've just noticed that internationally, African food is not very known. Why do you think that is?
So you have countries like Italy, France, Spanish countries that's already popular when it comes to vacations and traveling. Then it moved into the culinary. Now the food is very popular, but it wasn't the same for Africa. It's very rare you hear people say, I'm going to Ghana for vacation. So even though African restaurants were available even in New York, but it was more so patronized by the local that are, you know, the Africans who have moved there, or, you know, a few locals in the neighborhood who understand the food.
So not only is there not really enough knowledge about African food around the world, but when it comes to something like African fine dining, it's completely unknown. But this is a challenge you yourself have taken on, and this has become your pursuit and your life mission at this moment.
So the goal that I had for my restaurant is to be able to showcase Ghanaian dishes in a different light, so more modern on a fine dining scale. But one thing that we always try to do is we want you to still link back to the roots and still have the authentic flavors that it's supposed to have. So that's what we do at GHastro.
Chef Mame.
Hello.
Hello. Let's talk about the dish that's in front of us right now. This is inspired by a street food that's very common in Accra.
If anybody, for those of you all who might not know what the Michelin Guide star is, it was something that was started years ago by these brothers, you know, who were traveling around telling people the restaurants that they can go to, where they can get their tires changed, hotel they can stay at. And so ultimately it became this big thing that when they went to these restaurants, they would eat there, they would base it on food and quality service, and then they would give this restaurant a Michelin star. Now you can get 3 different stars, a 1, a 2, or a 3. And so if you get a 3, that basically says this is a restaurant that you definitely would need to go out of your way to eat at, to visit, to go and experience. And as of today, there is no Michelin star on the continent of Africa. Out of all the 54 countries in Africa, there's not one.
Not at the market recently. Can you tell us the inspiration for this dish?
So the normal kosuana meko in the streets you see is just boiled eggs and they put the pepper inside. When I decided I wanted to put the eggs on the menu, I thought of, how can I make it fun and not make it just regular eggs?
Utilizing turmeric and red cabbage, Chef Mame creates natural dyeing solutions to submerge the boiled eggs, infusing them with color.
I grew up in New York.
Now, the name of this restaurant is GHastro. It's spelled GHastro. Now, I asked my husband if he ever heard of the restaurant or had ever seen the restaurant, and he said no. So maybe you all know, those who are from Ghana who watch my channel, maybe you've seen the restaurant, maybe you've eaten there, maybe you live by there, pass by there. And what I enjoy about this interview with her is that she is not foregoing culture and history and tradition in order for her to create these dishes. Her whole purpose is to really put Ghana on the map. And I think that's just something to be proud of and something to be definitely shared. Because what's missing a lot of times when it comes to the continent of Africa, when it comes to African diasporans, is that we have so much to give. And a lot of times we try to cater to other people. We try to cater to the outsiders. We try to cater to the standards that people have set that does not include the continent of Africa, does not include African diasporans, doesn't include Black people at all. And so a lot of times you have to end up creating your seat at the table in order for it to be known, hey, we're here, we're not going anywhere, we are going to be acknowledged. And that is exactly what this lady is doing in Ghana. She has pretty much said, hey, she sees that there is no Michelin star going on in the continent of Africa, and she's going to do whatever is necessary to do that. Now, I'm not saying that there is no other restaurants that are not doing that, because I know for certain that they are, but she is one that is creating this type of experience in Ghana. What I love about this dish that she's going to share is how she's taking a local dish that people eat on the street side. And I've seen this dish before. I've eaten it before. It's very, very good. But I just love the way she's taken this dish and really elevated it to the next level. And I think that's what people have to realize when it comes to the continent of Africa. All the food that is eaten in these different countries are all flavorful, are all unique, and you can take that dish and create it into something totally new, and give you a whole new different experience. And that's what people need to understand about the continent of Africa. There's so much there. There's so many people there. There's so many countries there. I mean, choose one. But to always think that nothing great's coming out of Africa, that no talent is coming out of Africa, even no great food is coming out of Africa, is crazy to me. And I'm so glad that this man has broadcasted this and putting this out there for people to see that the standards that are still going on when it comes to food, when it comes to places to visit, are still the standards of Europeans, are still the standards of the Western world. And it's definitely high time to start changing that. And I'm glad that this man is like, you know what, I even have to say, he even has to wonder why the continent of Africa has no Michelin star in it. Like, what's really going on?
Is how I make my kosuana meko.
All right, let's go for it. You just throw the whole thing back, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good. The hard-boiled egg part is a hard-boiled egg, but it's about everything that you put on top of there. The first thing I feel is just heat, radiating heat. Some sourness there's pickled onion on here, which is really fragrant as well. It's fun and...
Did y'all see that price? $3.56. Now, if you put that in Ghanaian cities, though, that's not a cheap dish. I'm just saying. In American dollars, it's $3.50. But for the currency of Ghana, in Ghana cities, that's not a cheap dish whatsoever. So, you know, keep that in mind. So when he popped that up there, I know people are like, okay, you know, fine dining for $3. It would be fine dining in Ghana. For the people of Ghana, that would be definitely fine dining. What I like about this whole video clip is that this guy actually exposed the world to a cuisine from this restaurant in Ghana. And that's how the continent of Africa is get to that global scale. When you have people like this who realize and know the talent that comes out of these countries of Africa, the people that are putting forth the effort to really put the African continent where it should be. And then you have someone like this who puts it on their YouTube channel or showcases it some kind of way, puts it on TV and let people know, hey, this is here, this restaurant is here, the food is here, it's good. It just makes me feel good that that is the direction that people are going now, that they are actually starting to let people see the continent of Africa, the people in it, the food, the culture, the experience. What is spectacular though about this dish that she did is if anybody has tasted the dish that she's talking about as far as what it is on the street side versus how she elevated it, I just thought that was just amazing. How she would, you know, how she took what she knew in New York City, how she was just meshing together her experience, her growing up, and still not losing the Ghanaian part of it. And I think that's important when it comes to African diasporans, that a lot of times when you talk to some of them, especially black people in the United States, they always think that when you go or move to Ghana or you go and move to a country in Africa that you're just forgoing your culture and your history, you're going to forgo that you're American. And it's just like, no, you can mesh the two together because you are able to learn about each other. You're able to learn about the experiences of each other, and you're able then to create something new. And that's exactly what she has done. That is exactly what she has done. I do hope that her restaurant gets the recognition that it deserves, and that she actually gets the Michelin star that she so is wanting. I do think that there will become a point though where people from the continent of Africa will say to themselves, you know, and the meaning of the Michelin star is what? Again, that's the standard of Europe. That is the, you know, so, you know, to continue to not always strive to be the standard of Europe, but just to be the standard of the continent of Africa, where, you know, where they would set the standard, where people would try to live up to what they are saying and what they are giving out there, instead of always feeling like you have to meet the standards of Europe. You're talking about different countries, you're talking about different people. There's a lot to be considered. You're talking about bias that's going on in people's minds when it's coming to the continent of Africa. But I do love the idea that this woman has seen that there's definitely a spot to be held, and she is going to work towards that spot. This was just exciting to me. I just wanted to share with you all. I am going to link below where you can see the video in its entirety. He actually has two different videos, like I said at the beginning of the video. I don't like the fact that he said surviving food in Africa, like their food is so nasty you have to survive. In Ghana, you know, you have to just eat whatever. And I know he said that because he has to get views, but at the same time, that's the kind of rhetoric that we did, you know, people need to get away from when they're talking about the continent of Africa, as if it's this place where you're going where, you know, you're having to fight for your life. There's no food there. There's, you know, and if it is food there, it might not be that great. I mean, just got to be careful when you're saying that type of language, because it definitely is not something that you would say in regards to some of these countries in Europe or to the United States of America. All right, that is all I have to say about this video. I am Mazelleغ. Thank you all for watching. I will see you on the next video. Bye.